you guys, and thank you for joining me once again in the cage with me, Sophie Cage. Today, we have a disturbing case of love gone wrong. Melanie James had no reason to think that she wouldn't have the perfect wedding day. The invitations were sent out. She loved jazz music and found the perfect band. The cake and the flowers she picked out were beautiful. She had just graduated nursing school from Central Northern, top of her class. Melanie planned on working in labor and delivery because she just loved babies so much. She was heard many times talking about how she couldn't wait to have a family of her own. Her siblings and parents attended her graduation and couldn't wait to attend her wedding to celebrate the person they loved so much. Melanie was engaged to marry Brad Forrester. Brad loved Melanie. He too had recently graduated with an MBA and was set to take over his father's cookie company. Their life was seemingly perfect, except for one problem: Melanie's ex-boyfriend, Kevin. Melanie's family said that they were so happy to hear that she and Kevin had broken up during her sophomore year of college. They had been dating since they were juniors in high school. Melanie's family said that this weirdo just took her spark away. Kevin had trouble holding down a job. He couldn't seem to pass his classes and was eventually living with Melanie rent-free, claiming that he needed time to figure things out. This went on for a year. Melanie finally confided to her parents about what was happening. They helped her evict Kevin from the apartment that they were in fact paying for. Melanie also confided in her sister that she had caught Kevin poking holes in condoms that they planned to use in an apparent attempt to trap her into pregnancy that she was not ready for. Sorry, but what a fucking piece of shit, all right? Kevin just was a bad dude. Okay, Melanie had been with Kevin for a long time, so she was sad for a while, but quickly moved on. She found new friends, joined a music club at school, and focused on making good grades so that she could successfully start her adult life. One day, while at the music club meeting at a local coffee shop, Melanie spotted Kevin. She said that a pit formed in her stomach. She tried to avoid him, but he followed her out to her car. Some of the other members noticed and stayed close by in case she needed help. Kevin looked rough. His clothes appeared unwashed. He looked like he needed a shower. At first, he begged Melanie to please let him move back in with her. When one of the group members attempted to interject to tell Kevin, where he could get some help, he got angry. He started yelling and shoved this woman into the car so hard that she fell to the ground and cracked her head. Another person called the police. Kevin continued to try to beg, but quickly fled before the police arrived. Melanie then said that she started to get weird, sometimes threatening voice messages, emails, and texts. This made her change her number and email address. So then she woke up one morning to find a pile of dog shit and a dead rat on her doormat. Melanie spoke with her parents, who helped her to break her lease and move into an apartment. At this new apartment, Melanie met her neighbor, Brad. At first, they were just friendly, but what started as short, simple exchanges quickly turned into long, easy conversations outside of their doors. Brad finally worked up the courage to ask Melanie out on a date. It wasn't long before Melanie was introducing this new, amazing man to her family and friends, and they all loved him, and they could tell how much he truly cared for Melanie. Melanie's parents said that they were over the moon when she came home with the news that they were engaged. Melanie found herself not thinking about Kevin at all anymore and thought he was part of her past. That is until she started getting threatening letters at her new address. They said things like, "It's not nice to abandon people. All whores go to hell, and the wicked will be punished with pain." She reported this to the police, but they didn't seem to help much. Melanie moved into Brad's apartment. They installed a security camera and bought a gun. The letters seemed to suddenly stop. Melanie thought that she must be safe now, that, she was living with Brad, and slowly started to relax once again. Planning a wedding while she was studying for finals was challenging, but, both Brad and Melanie's families were more than happy to help. Classes were passed. Graduation ceremonies were attended. Wedding plans were finalized. Brad's family had purchased a luxe honeymoon package for them in Thailand. Melanie's family planned to help them with a down payment on a house. Their lives appeared to be perfect. That is, until 2 days before the wedding. Melanie received a text message that seemed to be from the florist, claiming that there was a problem with the shipment and they needed Melanie's, help picking out the replacements. So for the flowers, they would be late. She told them that she would be there as soon as possible, so she grabbed her purse and her car keys and headed over. She parked in the parking lot that was behind the old building on a relatively quiet street. So the cameras showed that when she got out of the car and headed around the building to the entrance, that she was attacked by a man and dragged into a sedan. The sedan took off down the street. Since no one actually knew where Melanie had gone, it took a while for anyone to realize that she was missing. The police tracked her cell phone to near the flower shop where they found her car. They asked for camera footage, and they used it to identify the car that had been taken. So a huge manhunt went underway. But sadly, it was not enough. The blue sedan was found far off on a dirt road just outside of city limits. Melanie's clothes had been torn off. She showed signs of struggle and assault, and seemingly had been strangled to death. The search for the assailant began. It didn't take long for police to find Kevin's body in a nearby ditch. That no-good, dirty coward did all this to Melanie and then ended his own life by gunshot to the head. Again, what a piece of shit. If only police had taken Melanie's cries for help more seriously, maybe I wouldn't be here telling this story today. Melanie's family did set up a charity to help buy clothes for newborn babies in need. Link to that is in my bio. Kevin certainly belonged in a cage. Anyway, please check out that charity and join me next week again